record this so I can just post it there if you guys just want to revisit the video. So if you have a log of any base, b, and you have a product of something such as x and y, you can't, this is not going to work. All right, move down here, there we go. You can expand it by turning it into an arithmetic equation of two logs. So you keep the base the same on the two logs, and then you make it a sum of x and y, as you see there. So, for example, let's go to the example one. Here we have a log base 5 of 6 times 9. So if I needed to expand that, it would, since I have a product of two numbers, I would expand that into a sum of two logs. Keep the base, so log base 5 of 6 plus log base 5 of 9 would be the expansion. And you guys can't see any of that, can you? There we go. Got a little delayed. So, you can expand multiplication to addition. If there was a product of 3 different things, then I would have a sum of 3 different logs with base 5. If I had 4 different things being multiplied, then I would have a sum of 4 different logs with a base of 5. Does that make sense? So, other than the product rule, you have what's the quotient rule. So if you have a division or the quotient of 2 different things, so here we have log base b of x all over y. That would be the opposite of addition, so that would turn into subtraction or the difference. And you always do the numerator divided by the denominator. So it would be log base b of whatever your base is of x minus log base b of y. So for this example, we have log base 4 of 7 over 9. You guys remember seeing this last year at all?
Yeah,
maybe.
A little bit.
So since I have 2 things being divided, it's going to be a difference of 2 logs. Keep the base the same, so it's going to be a log with a base of 4. Oh, goodness. Bennett, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know what that... Let's get out of there. My life. Okay, so log base 4 of 7. This is very delayed on your end. And then you would subtract from that log base 4 of 9. And then that would be your expanded form. Okay, so if you see 2 things being multiplied together, you turn it into a sum of 2 logs. If you see 3 things being multiplied together, then you would turn that into a difference, or sorry, a sum of 3 logs. If it's division, then it turns into the difference. So then the third property that we got to cover, let's go over those, is the power rule. So the power rule says that if you have an exponent, so if you have log of some base b and x to some power r, then what you can do is you can shift that exponent of r and put it in front. Alright, hold on a second. Get that written down. Bennett, no. I don't know what that's gross. Put all of your hands. Haley, you gotta come down here. Just get up and walk. Alright. Nothing like my son playing with the grease tray in the grill. Not gross at all. Okay. Deal with that later. Bennett, no! No. It's not to play with. Alright, so we look at this one here. We have log base 5 of 4 squared. So I can rewrite that. I can take the exponent of 2 and shift it to the front. So it'd be 2 times log base 5 of 4. So whenever you have an exponent, you can bring that in front. And the reason why we want to be able to do that is because when we get into solving equations, I turn that into a coefficient. divide it out when we're doing our solving, instead of keeping it as a power. Okay, so let's just go through a bunch of more challenging ones and see if we've got those good to go. So, log base b of the square root of 7. So if you guys remember, the square root sign is the same as having an exponent of 1/2. So that's really the same as log base b of 7 to the 1/2. And then we can just take that 1/2 in front. So 1/2 log base b 7. And then that would be your expanded form. Okay? Alright, so for your homework, you're going to have a bunch of these problems where it's just kind of combining it all together. So here we have log base 4 of 4x to the 3rd. And we're being asked to expand it. So I have a product of 4 and an x to the 3rd, which means I'm going to have 2 logs. And because it's a product, it's going to be addition. So that turns into log base 4 plus log base 4 x to the 3rd. And then I can take that exponent of 3 and put it in front. So it becomes 3 times log base 4x plus log base 4. I'm going to have you just keep it there. Technically, log base 4 of 4 is just 1. So if you think about it, 4 to the first power is 4, so that would convert to 1, but we'll just leave it like that, because I just want you to be able to do the expansions and the condensations. Funny word. Okay, let's go for another one. Tell me if you need me to slow down at any point in time, and I will. Log base 7, the square root of m over n. So that really is log base 7 of m over n to the 1/2. Because remember, the square root sign is the same as just a 1/2. And give it a second to catch up. Or maybe it will not. There we go. There it is. So if we remember our exponent rules, I can take that m and that n and give them both that exponent of 1/2. So that really is log base 7 m to the 1/2 over n to the 1/2. And because I have a quotient, that's going to turn into division. So log base 7 of m to the 1/2 minus log base 7 n to the 1/2. And then the last thing we can do is just move those 1/2s in front. So 1/2 log base 7m minus 1/2 log base 7n. And then that would be your expanded form. Oh good, she's alive. Don't judge my parenting, guys. Alright, let's do this one. Log base 5, a squared all over bc. So I've got 3 different things happening. I got an a squared, a b, and I have a c. So that means I'm going to have 3 different logs in my answer.
Can I do one?
In a second. So let's first take care of my numerator. So that'd be a log base 5 a. I'm going to put the squared right in front right away.
I want to do a log of it.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let's stop playing with this. Your dad would be very angry if you broke the screen here. Why don't you take Bennett in your playhouse and go play? Play Sock McStuffins or something. He can be your patient. Wouldn't that be a good idea?
But there's none of his there's none of my stuff in
All right, use your imagination. Or you can build him in an obstacle course. Okay, so now let's get to the division part. So that's going to be a subtraction. So we're going to subtract log base 5b. But then we also need to subtract a log base 5c. Okay, so if you have two things, if you have two things in your denominator, then you're just going to subtract each of those from the whole thing. So it really would be two minuses. Because if you think about it, if you think about the b and the c on the bottom as a product, it would kind of be the same as minus the product of log base 5b plus log base 5c. And then when you distribute that negative, it would go back to what we originally had there. Okay? And the only other thing then you have to make sure you can do is do it in reverse. So can we go from an expanded form to a condensed form? So 4 log base bm minus log base bn. So I have subtraction. So what's being subtracted? An m and an n. So that's going to be a quotient. So m over n. I'm going to put that 4 as my exponent. So it would be m to the 4th. Wait for it to catch up. I know I'm talking and you can't see what I am saying. Here it comes. Okay, so we've got m to the 4th divided by n. And then you're just going to put a singular log base b in front of that. So when you condense from 2 logs or 3 logs, then your final answer should always just have 1 log in it. Some students will make the error and they'll kind of do like log base b m to the 4th over log base b n. Don't do that. Just keep it a singular log. Well, I'm doing a few problems. We're almost done. You know what? Let's not even do that crazy one. Because I don't think you're going to have to do anything that hard on your homework.
Mommy, I please have that, Mommy.
Almost done. So I think that's it. So, do you guys have any questions about expanding?
Nope.
No? Okay, so for your homework, you should have already gotten... up. Who's been waiting? Michaela's been waiting. Sorry, Michaela. I hope you weren't waiting long. I had my screen on. Am I still sharing my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't look at my email. Nothing there that's exciting. Where are we at? Get rid of that. Not AP stats. Okay, so you guys should have gotten shared an assignment, section 11.4 problems. It should have on there a link. Does it have the link? Yes. You guys can see this?